When you can't argue the facts, deny and smear. This week, an audience member asked Ben Shapiro a question about Israel's 1967 attack on the USS Liberty. His outrageous response was an insult to every patriotic American, and especially those of us with relatives who served in the United States Navy. According to Ben, everybody knows it was a mistake in the fog of war. Israel admitted it and paid reparations, and at 60-plus years ago, the attack is irrelevant to today's U.S.-Israeli relations. But the American sailors who feared for their lives on the ship that day tell a different story. Why is Ben flat wrong on the Liberty? And what are the implications for our relationship with Israel? Many thanks to our new subscribers. If you like the material, I have a whole library of similar videos on my channel. Please hit the like button and share, and if you'd like to support my work, there's a link down below where you can buy me a coffee. Now back to the story. Ben is parroting the official line on what happened on June 8, 1967. To an honest observer, that doesn't make it correct any more than the Warren Commission proves Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Reports are so unreliable that even President Lyndon Johnson lied about the USS Liberty in his memoirs, saying there were 10 fatalities and 100 wounded, when in fact 34 crewmen died and 171 were wounded. Official inquiries into the event, both U.S. and Israeli, have the appearance of a cover-up and a whitewash. Why else would the Liberty's Captain McGonigal be given the Congressional Medal of Honor in a private ceremony at the Naval Yard, instead of at the White House? But don't take our word for it. Listen to the testimony of the victims, the sailors who survived the attack that day, and then decide if Ben is telling the truth. Here are some inconvenient facts from their testimony. Skies were clear that day, and 5 crew members testified that they saw the Stars and Stripes flying all morning before the attack. The flag was brand new and not faded at all. A steady breeze kept the flag flying and visible, despite Israeli reports that it was, quote, a windless day. The ship's name was displayed in block letters at the rear, and its identifying number was on the front. These identifiers were large and freshly painted. Israeli reconnaissance planes flew close to or over the Liberty 8 times that day before the attack. And since the Liberty was an intelligence-gathering ship, it had heard the Israeli pilots correctly notifying their base that the ship was American. Ben says when the Mirage jets saw the U.S. flag, they ceased the attack and sent a ship to aid the Liberty. Survivors, on the other hand, say that the first flag was destroyed and that before the torpedo boat attack, an even larger flag, the 7-foot by 13-foot oversized holiday colors, were put up to replace the first one. Despite this, the Israeli attack boats launched a torpedo that tore the hull wide open, killing 25 sailors instantly. For more details, read the first-hand account of James Ennis, the author of The Assault on the Liberty, and then decide for yourself. Ennis was called a liar and an anti-Semite for telling his story. Sound familiar? And while Israel compensated survivors and the bereaved, they refused to compensate us for the damage they caused to our ship. A quick reminder, this is the same loyal ally country that attacked our Egyptian properties in the 1950s and blamed it on Muslim extremists. The same one that paid Jonathan Pollard to steal our classified military secrets, turned them over to the Soviets, and then welcomed Pollard as a hero when he moved to Israel. Are we still to believe that this was an accident? If an outrage that happened 60 years ago is trivial and irrelevant, what about those that happened 80 years ago? The ones we're endlessly told to never forget. The USS Liberty is entirely relevant to today's international partnership because it perfectly encapsulates the nature of it. Our best ally gets away with murder, even against us, while we bankroll them and thank them for the pleasure.